Just a few quick notes on some recent changes to our software licensing models. As you know, your license is managed by a hardware license key. Under Manage Licenses, you can see what's actually in your license key. This license key limits the number of display spots, for example, to 4, as you can see here. Previously, you couldn't add more than this number of display spots to your system, which could cause problems if you had to prepare for or work with a client project that called for a larger number of spots than what you had in your license key. So now in Blocks 3, we've changed that, so you can actually add more spots than you have licensed. And you can even add them without having the hardware on hand, as I showed in the previous video. So let's add one more spot here. So we say spot 4, and we're now up to the 4 spots that we have licensed, which you can see here. We have 4 in system, and 1 is currently being actively used, as you can see by it being connected here. But then we can still continue adding more spots. So I add a spot 5 here, and you see I'm now adding more spots than I actually have. So again, going back, manage licenses, you can see that I have more in my system that I have licensed. So now we're actually considering how many you are using at any given time. So only the number of spots that you have licensed can be used at any time. Other spots can be added and programmed for, as you see here, which is great if you need to work with a client project that has a larger number of spots than what you have in your own license key. But you can only actively test and sort of see pictures, see images on at most the number of spots that you have in your license key. So if you would have 4 of them online and you want to test another one, you have to take one of them offline, and then you will be able to go online with other ones. So you can actually test all of them piecemeal without having them all online at the same time. Other changes related to the license is that previously, for a regular server license, that did not necessarily include the Linux server support. Now we've added that, so all regular server licenses now include the Linux server support, which simplifies things. On the other side of the spectrum, sometimes you want to have a low-cost option. Maybe you just want to have a license for your own personal use, maybe to work on client projects when you're on the road, or just applications like that, where you not really want to install a permanent Blocks installation. You just want to be able to work with it on your own laptop, maybe on an airplane or something like that. So for that kind of purpose, we added a very low, reasonably priced personal license that is just like a regular Blocks license, except it does not have the Linux server support, and the personal license will shut down the server every 4 hours. So you can only use it for at most 4 hours at a time, so you can't really use it for any real fixed installations. But it's great for having on your laptop and just playing around with. Furthermore, if you want to just take a look at Blocks and see if it's for you and if it would work for your application, we have a really low cost evaluation version that you can see here. And that is similar to the personal license, except it will also expire a certain number of days after its first use, typically 30 days. So it gives you plenty of time to get acquainted with Blocks and see whether it suits your application. And then if you decide to move on and actually use Blocks, then we'll refund the cost for the evaluation license when you upgrade to the real license, and that can be upgraded over by sending an email back and forth. So it's really a very straightforward and painless process.